The year was 636 CE. The Arabian Peninsula was ablaze with the fervor of revolution, religious, social, and military. Prophet Muhammad had passed, but under the Rashidun Caliphate, the expansion of Islam continued with breathtaking speed. The Byzantine Empire, once a global superpower, now found itself confronting a rising force. It was in this context that one of history's most pivotal battles took place, the Battle of Yarmouk. But what made this battle so remarkable was not just its size or casualties, but the way it reshaped the political map of the Mediterranean and Near East. Today, we'll journey to the undulating plains near the Yarmouk River to explore the drama, tactics, and aftermath of this legendary confrontation. To understand the Battle of Yarmouk, we must first return to the years leading up to it. By the early 7th century, the Byzantine Empire had already suffered internal strife, devastating plagues, and the prolonged war against the Sassanid Persian Empire. Though victorious over Persia, Byzantium emerged exhausted, economically drained, and militarily weakened. Meanwhile, under the leadership of Abu Bakr and later Caliph Umar, the Rashidun armies moved swiftly to spread the Islamic faith. In 634 CE, they defeated Byzantine forces at the Battle of Ajnadain, a shock that rattled Constantinople. Recognizing the growing threat in the Levant, Emperor Heraclius prepared to push back. He gathered an estimated 40,000 to 100,000 troops from the empire's vast territory, intending to annihilate the Muslim armies and reclaim Syria. The Muslim forces, however, were no strangers to adversity. Powered by discipline, strategy, and an unyielding belief in their mission, they were about to prove their mettle against one of the most organized armies of the ancient world. The commanders themselves were a reflection of their respective forces. Leading the Rashidun army was Khalid ibn al-Walid, a brilliant tactician known as the Sword of Allah. On the Byzantine side stood Vahan, a seasoned Armenian general tasked with commanding this massive coalition of Byzantine, Slavic, Christian, Arab, and Armenian troops. The two leaders would soon stand eye to eye across the battlefield. The Yarmouk battle site stretched over rocky plains and steep gorges near the Yarmouk River, southeast of the Sea of Galilee. Its rugged terrain would serve a critical role in determining the outcome, favoring the mobile Rashidun cavalry over the heavily armored Byzantine infantry. The stage was set, the armies waited, and then it began. The battle unfolded over 6 grueling days in late August of 636. On the first day, Byzantine forces launched probing attacks, eager to gauge the Rashidun defensive lines. The Muslims responded with disciplined countermeasures, holding their ground. Khalid ibn al-Walid, ever the master of battlefield adaptation, took note of the Byzantines' movements and their vulnerabilities. But it wasn't all smooth sailing for the Rashidun forces. After 2 days of intense fighting, the Byzantines, utilizing their superior numbers, launched a fierce assault, breaking through parts of the Muslim lines. For a moment, victory seemed within Vahan's grasp. Yet, Khalid's leadership was unshakable. Rallying individual units and reorganizing his troops, he turned what could have been chaos into a renewed defense. By day 4, Khalid ibn al-Walid initiated one of his most famous military tactics, the feigned retreat. While Byzantine forces rushed forward, believing the Muslims were crumbling, Khalid's cavalry executed a stunning counterattack. The ambush shattered the Byzantine momentum, sowing confusion and inflicting heavy losses. The wind began to shift. On day 5, the Rashidun forces launched a coordinated offensive. The Muslim archers peppered the Byzantine ranks, while agile cavalry units hit the flanks. Khalid exploited the terrain, using the steep ravines to trap portions of the Byzantine army, making retreat nearly impossible. By the final day, the Byzantine forces understood the gravity of their position. Surrounding hills now brimmed with Rashidun soldiers, cutting off nearly every escape route. Vahan ordered his troops to fight to the last man, aware that reinforcements from Emperor Heraclius would never arrive in time. But their morale had already crumbled. Panic spread like wildfire. Some units fled, only to be slaughtered in the ravines, while others fought desperately until overrun. The Byzantine coalition was entirely unraveled. When the dust settled, the battlefield was silent, save for the cries of the wounded. The Muslim forces emerged victorious, and the Byzantine Empire had suffered a catastrophic defeat. Thousands of Byzantine soldiers were dead, captured, or scattered in retreat. Among the Rashidun fighters, casualties were lighter, thanks in part to Khalid's brilliant leadership and the discipline of his men. This was more than just a victory. Strategically, the Battle of Yarmouk marked the end of Byzantine dominance in Syria. Damascus had already fallen to the Rashidun armies. Following Yarmouk, other key cities like Jerusalem and Antioch would capitulate in the coming years. The domino effect was unstoppable. Within mere decades, the Rashidun Caliphate expanded across vast territories, eventually encompassing Persia, North Africa, and parts of Spain. For the Rashidun Caliphate, Yarmouk was the crowning achievement of their military campaigns in the Levant. It was proof that their forces could decisively defeat the empire that had once ruled their region. Khalid ibn al-Walid's tactics at Yarmouk would be studied and admired by generations of military historians worldwide. For Byzantium, however, Yarmouk was the beginning of the end in its confrontation with Islamic forces. Emperor Heraclius, ravaged by the sorrow of this defeat, would later leave Antioch, lamenting, "Farewell, Syria. What an excellent country this is for the enemy." And yet, Yarmouk's legacy does not simply reside in its military consequences. It stands as a lesson on leadership, strategy, and adaptability. The methods employed by Khalid ibn al-Walid represent timeless principles of warfare: understanding your enemy, using terrain to your advantage, and remaining flexible under pressure. Similarly, it highlights the determination of the Rashidun forces who, despite being outnumbered, fought using strategy rather than brute force. Today, the narrative of Yarmouk serves as a profound reflection of the cultural, political, and military shifts that shaped the medieval world. It was a battle where geography met destiny and where two civilizations collided in a moment that would echo through centuries. And so, as the wind still whispers over the plains near the Yarmouk River, the memory of that great battle remains, a testament to the resilience of human ambition and the forces that shape history.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.